back. And to let everybody know, this session will be recorded.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi, Florence.
Hi, I Miss Ashley.
Yes.
All right. So I think it's already 5:37. Just to not waste anyone's time, and we already are 7 minutes over. I'm going to begin the presentation. Thank you, Professor Powell, for starting the recording for me. So, good evening, almost evening, if not evening, wherever you are. Today's presentation is how to narrow your research paper topic. My name is Shantae Hope. I am the Director of Library Services. Let me see if I can start my camera just in case if you see me on campus, you know who I am. So you just have an idea. My hair may be different, but still the same person. Okay, so I'm the Director of Library Services, and today we're going to talk about our research paper topic. I just also want to give a disclaimer that this PowerPoint has been uploaded to Blackboard Collaborate. So the Blackboard Collaborate presentation, PowerPoint presentation, may present some boxes that may not show fully. And this is just something that's with Blackboard Collaborate. So I have no problem with sharing the PowerPoint presentation with you. Also, this presentation will be uploaded to the library's website as well. And I will be giving out that information throughout the presentation as well. So just in case, just a reminder, just in case if the PowerPoint looks a little wonky at some point, no, that is not like that. Um, outside of Blackboard Collaborate, but just so you know. So let's begin our session today on how to narrow down your research paper topic. So what tonight's presentation will cover is why narrowing your research topic is important, the 4 steps to narrow your research paper topic, and some library databases and web sources you can use to assist you with this process. So this presentation will not cover these pieces in order, but it will contain all of these pieces throughout the presentation. So let's begin with why do I need to narrow down my research paper topic? All right. We have a topic in our heads, which are great topics, and sometimes it may not be the best topic for us to research. All right. So, why do we need to narrow that research topic or research area down? One, we want to save time conducting more focused searches. Okay, because if we type in our topic into any type of search engine or even into the library databases, if you are familiar, you may be overwhelmed with searches. All right, and we need to make sure that we're conducting time-saving searches, unless you have endless amounts of time. All right, we want to make sure that we're conducting time-saving searches. All right, next we want to explore the topic in detail. You may have an idea about what the topic is, which is great. All right, but you may not know all of the gist of that topic. So that's why you need to do a little bit of research so we can know about it in detail. All right. And how I just mentioned before, maybe we are overwhelmed with the amount of search results we get. If we type our broad topic into any type of search engine or any on the web, we may get million of results, million hits and million results. So that may be overwhelming to view. All right. So we want to make sure that when we look at the searches, we're narrowing down our topic to make sure that we're not overwhelming ourselves. And we're also paying attention in detail, and we're also doing focus and searches, as well as your paper will not have a focus. All right. You can have a broad topic and you just say, I'm going to run with that. But your paper needs to have a focus. What are you trying to get at in your paper? All right, so you need to have a focus. So this is why we narrow down our research paper topic. Okay, So there are 4 steps that we need to conquer so we can narrow down our research paper topic. So these 4 steps are to help us choose and narrow down our research topic. Okay. The first step is to choose a broad topic. Okay. This is when we start to brainstorm and just have an idea of what we want to search for. So we can just pick a broad topic at this moment. All right. And it can be interesting to you. Maybe your professor has assigned certain topics, but usually if your professor tells you to write a research paper and you have free reign, pick something that isn't interesting to you or something you may have heard about that you're curious about. Next, we want to narrow down that research paper topic. All right. And we want to get a focus. All right. 3, we want to sharpen that focus. All right. And we want to use the research question using the 4W method. The 4W method is included with who or what, when, where, and why. Okay, so that's the 4W method to help us narrow down to our research question from our broad research paper topic. And then next from there, this will help formulate a working thesis statement, which is there a session coming up about that too in a couple of days, or a research question. All right. So the main point is for you to get to that step 4. We want a working thesis statement or question. Okay. So I'm going to pause here quickly just if anybody has any questions so far. Okay, just to remind you all, this is a session about narrowing down your research paper topic. This is a workshop just to help you get a better focus on how you can narrow down your research paper topics for any class that you may have at Monroe College. All right, so let's continue. All right, so step 1, all right, we want to choose a broad research topic. All right, so I have some examples here of research topics that you may want to search at. You can look for artificial intelligence, which can be a current topic. We can look at Bitcoin, child abuse, video game, climate change, fake news, gender identity, mental health, digital divide. Your professor may tell you a certain topic to search for. These are just general research topics that you can search for just by having just general knowledge of these topics. You may have heard of them. But there is a tip that I encourage you all that you may want to use just in case if you don't have an idea or any of these topics that are seen here may not be available to you. Dwayne, if you can't hear, what I suggest you do is to log out, to log back in, and use the Chrome browser to search. Okay, I mean not to search, to log back into the session, because I assume everybody else can hear me. Is that correct? Can everybody else hear me? If you could just raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. So just to continue, all right. So we can use, when you're looking at research topics, okay, one area that you can also do is to look at current newspapers, all right. If you pass by a newsstand, and you can just look, or look at a magazine or any type of current popular publications, to retrieve ideas about current events. Okay, one area that you can do to look for current events is to use the library database A to Z link to search for current newspapers to search for not current newspaper, just to search for newspapers on current topics. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to use that now. If you are unfamiliar with what a library database is, a library database is a collection of newspapers, articles from magazines, journals, all over the place, for you to find current information and up-to-date popular articles. Okay, so let's go to A to Z link, and just to see how we can retrieve these newspapers, or just have an idea of a current newspaper that you may want to search. All right, so let me change my screen here. All right. So on my screen here, you should see My Monroe. If everybody can just, somebody raise their hand just to let me know that they can see the My Monroe screen. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So from here, we're going to go to the library database A to Z link, and we're going to search for a current newspaper that the library subscribes to look at current articles that are current topics to help us try to figure out a broad area that we can start to search for research paper topics. So I'm at My Monroe. Okay, so from My Monroe, we're going to log in. I already have my password here because there's so many passwords. All right, so from My Monroe, we're going to go to library resources. All right, if you do not see library resources on your My Monroe, make sure under your name it says student, okay, or staff or faculty. If it doesn't say any of that and it says alumni or member, anything else of that sort, you are not up to date in the IT system at Monroe College for library resources. So you would just contact the IT help desk and let them know that your My Monroe status needs to be updated to student. So we come to library resources, all right? And library resource here, this gadget here, we do have additional information about the library, but I encourage you all to visit the Monroe College library website, which is monroecollege.libguides.com, and I will share that link in a few. So then here we come to databases. All right. And there are many different databases that we have here. We subscribe to over 100 databases, but each database caters to different subjects and areas. The one that we're going to go to is A to Z Link. Okay. A to Z Link gives us information straight to this database. Let me share my screen. All right, to search for library publications. Okay, so once you click on A to Z link, this screen should come up to say library publications. Okay, so a popular newspaper that you may all know is the New York Times. If you go on the NewYorkTimes.com, all right, and search for it on the World Wide Web, sometimes if you go over the limit, I think the limit is about 5 articles per week or so. After that limit, you do not have access to the articles anymore. So you will come to A to Z link and you will come where it says library publications and you can just type in New York Times. All right. Once you type in New York Times, you click in search. Once you click to search, we have the first result being the New York Times. Then you can click on the New York Times, but I like to click on where it says full text access. Okay. And just to recap why we're here at the New York Times looking for newspaper articles for current topics that we can possibly search for as our research paper topic. So we're looking up current events from newspapers that we can possibly use. All right. So one of the popular newspapers that we have is the New York Times. All right. The New York Times, if you click on full text access, there are 3 databases that contain articles from the New York Times. Those databases are custom newspapers, Gale Academic One File, Gale General One File. Okay, we subscribe to all of these databases. On the right-hand side, you want to pay attention to what dates we have available for these databases, for these articles. All right, so luckily we have all of them from 1985 to the present. So from here, it doesn't matter what database you click on. So we can click on the first one that says custom newspapers. All right, once we click on custom newspapers, is going to bring us to this database, which is also General One File, which is also custom newspapers. All right. And then from here, we have our coverage on where for the New York Times. All right. And what we have here is June 4th, which is today. So works very fast. So if you want to just look up current events, current topics from today, you can take a look here and you can just click on the date. All right. And then we have access to, there's 81 articles that were published today. And then you could just click on any one of these and see if there is a topic that may interest you. All right. So you could just browse and see if there's something that is a topic that can help you get an idea of where you want to start to do your search. Okay. So we just looked at the New York Times, the custom newspapers database to look at current articles that can help us get an idea for research paper topics. Okay. All right. I think there was a question in the chat. And I don't want to pronounce your name incorrectly. Cortes is the last name. How can I find 2024 information? I'm finding it hard to find information from 2024. So what we just did was you can we looked at the date for June 4th, 2024. So you can look at it by date. So just to go back roughly. So we're back at the A to Z link, library publications, the New York Times. Okay. Okay. So for journal articles, we're not there yet. You can reach out to me specifically offline and we can discuss that later on. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go back to our PowerPoint presentation. And that was how we can search for current topics, looking at current articles from newspapers, specifically from the New York Times. Okay. So we're back here. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. As we continue, there is another place where you can also browse for topics if you're unsure of where to search for topics, okay? Another library database that you can use is called Opposing Viewpoints, okay, which is another Gale database. And you can come here and click on Browse Issues, and it can bring you all different types of issues just to help you get an idea of a topic that you may want to look at, okay? So just let me quickly show you how to get to this database and get to this page, just to look for a topic. If you still don't have an idea of what topic you want to choose, the library database Opposing Viewpoints can help you with that. So then we're going to come to so many places to go. We're going to come back here to share my screen. We're going to go back to my Monroe. And then we're back at library resources, all right? And then we're going to go back to databases. And then from here, we're going to scroll all the way down. We just left A to Z link. Now we're going to scroll down all the way down to the bottom and click on Opposing Viewpoints. The database list is in alphabetical order. So you can click on Opposing Viewpoints and then it will come up like this, all right? And then right here on the right-hand side where it says Browse Issues, here are a bunch of different other issues to help you if you're still trying to find a research topic. Okay, so this is another area for you to use to find a research topic. All right, I'm going to pause here. Does anybody have any questions so far? All right, perfect. On the right track. Okay, so we just left Opposing Viewpoints to search for topics. Now, where's another place? So all of these places that I'm showing you is to give you an idea of where to brainstorm if you are unsure where to look for topics. All right. If the library databases are not for you, or you feel a little bit intimidated, please don't worry about it. You can always reach out to me, chope@monroecollege.edu, if you need assistance looking for research topics using the library databases. Okay. But and all in all, you can always go to the World Wide Web. We are not against using the World Wide Web. So some of the places that you can go to on the World Wide Web, you can go to procon.org. Procon.org gives you the pros and cons of debatable issues, and that is www.procon.org. If you want topics on health issues or health information, you can go to the National Institute of Health, which is www.nih.gov/health-information. You can also go to the American Psychological Association, which is also APA, for psychology topics with mental issues. You can go to www.apa.org/topics. And you can also go to the Pew Research Center, which is General Issues and Current Trends, and that is www.pewresearch.org/topic/. Okay, so those are the three areas that you can look for current topics just to get a broad idea of your topic. Okay, you can go to these three. You can go to opposing viewpoints. You can come to these web resources, and you can also go to A to Z link to look up current newspaper publications. Okay, for current topics. I also much mentioned if you are just don't want to look at newspaper topics and you are, let's say, if you're an IT major or a health major, you can also go to A to Z link and type in current publication articles that you may know. Or if you scroll down, also within A to Z link, there are some links to general topics there that you can click for publications if you need assistance with that. Okay. All right, so we have an idea of a topic that we may want to look based on all of the searches that I have provided. So let's go to step two. Step two is now let's narrow that down. Okay, so we have a general topic that we want to search for. So for example, let's say we have video games. Okay, if I type in video games into Google, okay, I'm going to get millions of results. Okay. If you have time to look through millions of results, by all means, look through that. But we still need to narrow down. Okay. So we can't just use video games as a general um, topic. But then with that, you may have an idea in mind that may be too narrow. So for instance, let's say we wanted to look at the impact of video games played on the Nintendo Switch during COVID-19 crisis on social skills of suburban youth. Okay, let's take a step back. All right. That may be too specific. And then when we could get to results that are too specific, we're not going to find our results. Okay. We want to find that sweet spot, for instance, of does video games have a positive or negative effect on the social skills of teenagers? Okay. We want to get to that sweet spot there of how we can find our narrow down to get to our perfect research question and research paper topic. So we don't want to be too specific. We want to just hit that perfect spot to help us with our search. Okay. So what do we do next so we can get to that perfect spot? All right. What we want to use is keywords to narrow down and focus in on our research topic. Okay. Because your research topic may be very huge and it may be complicated and you may feel overwhelmed. Okay. So we want to avoid doing all of that. Okay. So whatever your broad topic is, think of something smaller or some related subtopics that allow you to focus in on one or two aspects of your research topic. And this is where keywords come into play. Now, keywords are going to be the main areas to help you develop that good research question. All right. So how do we do that? How do we get keywords? Okay. All right. How do we do the keywords? All right. So basically, what keywords are different words that we can use to give us what we need to get to our research paper topic that we do that is researchable. All right. There is different ways. How do we even go about that? One database that we can use is called Academic OneFile, particularly Topic Finder. Okay. And what the Topic Finder does, it gives us specific areas and subtopics on a broad topic for us. Okay. As we can see here on the screen, and I'll show you how to get here in a second, we're going to use the Topic Finder to help us narrow down our areas from a broad topic. Okay. All right. How do we get to Academic OneFile Topic Finder? Again, what we're going to do and what you always should do, come to MyMonroe. So let's go back to MyMonroe. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go back to MyMonroe and we're going to come back to library resources. If you're unsure how to get back to library resources, once you come to MyMonroe, it should be right in the center here. Everyone's MyMonroe may be different, but you should have access to the library resources. Again, if you don't see it under your name, make sure it says student. Come back to library resources. We're going to click straight on databases. Okay. And then we're going to come here to Academic OneFile. Just a tip, when we're looking at the topic finder, Topic Finder is specifically on any Gale database. So anytime that you see Gale after any of these databases, you're going to have access to Topic Finder. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the Academic One file, but it's still a Gale product. All right, so we're going to come here. All right, and we're going to come to Academic One file. Okay. Again, we still have those browse topics here just in case if you want to do that. But let's say we want to get some subtopics and start to get our keywords. All right. What we want to do is come now here to go to Topic Finder. Okay. And here is where you're going to type in your broad research topic. So let's say if we wanted to look at another general topic, let's say like gun control. Okay. We're going to type in our topic. Then we're going to click on the magnifying glass. And there are two options for visualization. I prefer the wheel, okay? Because the wheel is a little bit easier to see in my opinion. If you want to test out the tile, please by all means. So what this wheel is showing in right now is these current big keywords that we have here are an algorithm that is words that go specifically with our main topic, okay? And then on the outer ring are subtopics that go with our main topic that goes with our um, broad topic. So what we did here is took a big topic, gun control. Then from the inner ring, we have the main topics that go with our main topic, gun control. So United States, firearms, gun control, bear arms. And then the outer ring are subtopics that go with the main area here. So what you can do, which is a great area, and just skipping ahead here for you to start to get an idea of narrowing down your research topic. Let's say if we wanted to look in the area of the United States, what we can do is just click on this area, and then on the right hand side, what it does for us, it gives us articles that goes with that topic. All right, just with the United States. Now let's say if we want to go even further, let's say with the United States, and we wanted to look at courts, we can click on that as well. And then on the right hand side, we see search for topic with courts of gun control, and then it brings us articles here. Okay, so what we just did, what Topic Finder just did for us, was take a big topic, give us some main topics that go with it, and then gave us keywords that go with this. So all of these words here that you can see here can be keywords to help you with your research, narrowing down a big topic to a smaller subtopic. Okay, so I'm going to pause here to take any questions in regards to anything that I have said so far. Any questions? Yes, Professor Ashby.
I know this. I don't know if this is really related, but I'm thinking of something that we talked about a little bit yesterday with the keywords for your abstract. Is it possible that you might be able to use some of these keywords in your abstract if you wrote on that topic?
Yes. So just when yesterday we had the APA Basics presentation, and one of the components was writing your abstract and incorporating keywords with your abstract. So yes and no. So the keywords for your abstract is supposed to be specifically related to your research paper. All right. If you are doing just a regular keyword search, you can use that. So yes, you can use some of these keywords if they're part of your research.
Okay.
But as far as when you write your research paper, it could or could not be. It depends on what the research paper is about.
Okay.
So
So if you're,
so you
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I was going to say,
No.
so if your paper is about and it incorporates or includes things of that topic, it would be in order for you to you could possibly use those keywords.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Let's say we're looking up information that, let's say if you wanted to talk about laws, but maybe later on you're developing policies, you may not use laws as a keyword. You may use policies instead,
Okay.
because
Okay.
that's what the research papers are. Does that make sense? Am I making
Yes.
sense? Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
so yes, no problem, no problem. That's a great question. So for this workshop, we're developing keywords to help us to look for um, to help us narrow down our research topic. Okay, because we're taking big general topics, but we want to get some keywords to help us when we're starting to search. Okay, because we don't want to be overwhelmed with searching. Let's say, for instance, and we're just going to go out on a just a quick search here. Let's say we take gun control. And you can also use the Gale Academic OneFile as another general database for you to search. Gale Academic OneFile is a general database for you to search. And you can always get back to the main page by clicking on um, the title here. All right. And let's say we put in gun control into the actual database. All right. We get this many results. Okay. We get over 4,000 results. All right. That is very big. Okay. And we don't want to search through this many results. And even with the magazines here, we get 9,000 results. This is not a focus. Okay. This is why we do our keywords, so we can have additional pieces to look at. So let's say we put in laws, right? Gun control laws. You see how our results are going back down because we're adding keywords. Okay, now we took from gun control to gun control laws. Now we have something that's it's still a little bit big, but we're narrowing down our results so we're not overwhelmed. Okay, all right, so let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. All right, let's see here. All right, so uh, we just left using Academic OneFile for topic finder. Okay, step 2. All right. Also, to help you narrow down your keywords, here are some results. Here's some search tips that you can use. All right. 1, don't be afraid to build a keyword list. Okay, build a keyword list, build a mind map and a mind map is just a cloud of different words that may connect to each other. All right, build a keyword list, because if you put in the same keywords into the same databases, library databases, or even into any search engines, you're going to get the same results. So that's why we need keyword lists to build up what we're looking for. Okay. Next, identify synonyms to your keywords. Okay, synonyms. If you need help with finding synonyms to their keywords, pick up a thesaurus at the Monroe College Library, a physical thesaurus, or you can use the website, which is called powerthesaurus.org. Okay, and how that works is, let me see if I can pull it up. All right, I'm gonna pull it up here just so you can see. A lot of screen sharing here, which is totally okay. Okay. So we go to Power Thesaurus, okay? It's just going to give us additional words what we're looking for. So let's say we want to take a big area like mental health, right? Put in mental health, click the magnifying glass. Look at other additional words that go with it. So we can type in, let's say, for instance, we want to take some of these keywords. We put in mental health in the library database Gale Academic OneFile. Let's say emotional health, sound of mind, psychological health, balance of mind. So you can start to take these synonyms and start to build your keyword list. Okay, or you can go to Topic Finder and get some keywords there as well. All right. It's all about building keywords to help you to search. We don't want to keep putting the same keywords in, because we're going to get the same results. We have to mix it up. Mental balance, another one. Okay, these are other words that you can use. A thesaurus is finding words that are similar to your main to your topic. And then we want to use this. So you can use Power Thesaurus just to have an idea of picking up different other keywords that you can use. Okay, go back to the PowerPoint. All right. What else you can also do is you can also do a quick background research or pre-search that may help you identify effective keywords. You could just do a general search on Google, Bing, or whatever search engine you use just to get an idea, read through, pick out some words that can help you as well. And this is all a preliminary search still. We still haven't got to our research question. This is just us building up keywords lists on what we want to do. Okay, so far we picked out a topic, a broad topic. Now we're just getting some keywords that go with that topic. Okay. What you can also do is go to the library database, which is called Credo Reference, which gives you background or historical information on that topic. Okay. And I'll just show you that pretty quickly, just so you can get a background historical idea, because you may know about this topic, which is great, but you need somebody else, another author, to give you that information that solidifies what you're saying, which is great. All right. So what we want to do is, again, we're going to go back to myMonroe. Always go back to myMonroe to get to the library databases. Okay. And then after I show you Credo Reference, I'll pause for questions. So here, myMonroe. Always back at the library resources. Come to databases. Okay. Then we're going to go to Credo Reference. Credo Reference is just a database just for background information to start your research. Okay, it is all here for you. So let's say if we wanted to look at video games again. Okay, click on the magnifying glass, right? They're going to give you just a topic here. Just some information. This is from the Encyclopedia of American Studies on video games. And you click on read more. And it gives you, just as you can see, there's some older video games here, but it gives you some background historical information on your topic. So this is also a good area when you're doing your research topic. When you found your research topic and you already got your research question, when you do your research paper, it's always good to include background or historical information. So you could definitely use Credo as one of your sources to get that background information. Okay. And you can always, if you just a little tidbit, library databases always gives you the option for citations. So when you click on cite, APA, citation is already here for you. Okay. Anytime you see a cite button on the library databases, citation is already done for you. All you need to do is copy and paste it into your paper. Okay. So just go back. And I also want to show you one more thing. On the right-hand side here, how I mentioned earlier, a mind map. Credo Reference does that for you. So we already can also get additional keywords here to help us with our main research topic. We have arcade game, okay, game design, video game culture. These are all different other keywords that you can start to build with your keyword list. Okay, these are all here for you. Okay, so you can click on any one of these and it'll bring you to other articles or from from encyclopedias or dictionaries in regards to that topic. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for questions while I bring up the PowerPoint. Any questions so far? Oh, that's great. That means I'm doing wonderfully. If there are no questions, it's perfect. Okay, so we have left Credo Reference. Okay, what's next? All right, so now we're at step 3. What we want to do is to sharpen our focus to get that research question using the 4W method. Okay, great. That's really great that you did that, Florence. So you already know anything about video games. Okay, so how do we narrow down?
That wasn't great. Because I am not a
Oh,
gamer. Nope. Nope.
at
It
least you
definitely
did some
wasn't.
research.
Yeah,
At least you did some
yeah. My
research.
son was my research because he's a gamer.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So let's go back to narrowing down. So what we did so far We already identified a broad topic. We got our keyword list. Now we need to put it together. All right. And what you can do to start to put it together is use the 4W method. 4W method. Okay. First is who or what. Okay. Who or what do I want to research? Is we want to focus on teens. We want to focus on adults. We want to focus on teens with mental health. What? Okay. Who or what are we focusing on? Then we want to focus on when was that person or subject active. Okay, so a time period. Okay, with time periods, you have to think about, is there a sufficient information available to develop a good research paper or subject? Because we don't want something that's too recent, like within the last couple of days, because one, there has not been enough research on it. So you're going to find newspaper articles about it, but it may not be enough. Okay, it may not be enough. And then you also have to think of the sources that you're doing, are they reliable? Okay, so you want to make sure that when you're doing the certain time frame, that there is enough information and enough research to make that distinction. What I suggest you do as a rule of thumb, anything that was at least 6 months, that sounds like a long time, but it really isn't a long time, that is enough information for you to start to gather. May not still be enough, but it's still an area because it's still current enough that there's enough research. Okay. Next is, where did this take place? Are we focusing on urban areas? Are we focusing on the city? Are we focusing on the United States? Are we focusing in Europe? Are we focusing in China? Where? Okay. You have to be specific on where. Okay. And that's another area, because if you're focusing on the US and then you find information that is in China or the Europe, information may not be the same. So you want to make sure that you're consistent with the where. If you're focusing on a city, focus on cities, okay? Or one city, okay? But be specific in regards to that. Then next, is the subject important to me or interesting to me? And the reason why I'm saying that too as well is because you want to make sure that you can conduct this search objectively. What does objectively mean? Objectively means, can I write this paper or find information that relies solely on facts and without judgment? Okay? You may come across information that you may not necessarily agree with. But if you're doing that research paper, you have to have an unbiased mind. So this is why we make sure we say something that is important or interesting to you, so maybe you can remove that unbiased barrier. Okay? If your professor is saying, giving you a topic that you may not necessarily agree with, or whatever the case may be, please discuss it with your professor on the way you may want to go with that research paper. Okay, so you want to focus on the 4W method. Who or what? Who or what is one. When, where, why. Okay, that is your foundation when you're doing your research, forming your research question for your research paper. Any questions so far about that? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's have a sample process. And I said earlier today that the PowerPoint may be a little bit wonky because the way I have uploaded, it does not look like this. But I'm gonna try my best to shell out what it says. All right, so my apologies. All right, step 1. We're just going to do a sample process, okay? Step 1, choose a broad area research topic, okay? So like, say for instance here, we have healthcare workers or video games. That is the broad topic. 2, we want to narrow it down, okay? Where it says narrow it down in keywords examples, e.g. means examples, and we focus, and it says healthcare. Do we want to focus on healthcare with uninsured adults? Do we want to focus healthcare and essential workers? Do we want to focus on healthcare workers and COVID? Healthcare workers and job satisfaction. And if you notice here that we have this and in capital letters, and in capital letters is what's called a Boolean search. And the Boolean search includes the words and, the words or, or the words not. Okay. And you can use these Boolean searches in capital letters in the library databases or in any search engine. Okay. Because this is the way we narrowing down our search. Okay. So this is helping you add additional keywords. So if you use the words and, or not, okay, let's say if you wanted to focus on healthcare workers and COVID, but not job satisfaction, because that's something you don't want to put that, you can put that. You can put that entire phrase into the library databases, because what you don't want to do is put healthcare and insured adults in the United States who are unhappy. No. That's that narrow focus that you're putting into the library database, which you're not going to get that back the results. Okay, so this is why you develop your keyword list. Okay, and you can put about, I say, the more for your keywords into the library databases or any search engine that you use, to put maybe about no more than like 4 keyword searches, keywords into the databases. Okay. So what we did again, let's say for the next one with video games, okay, we want to narrow down some of our keywords, is video games and world building, video games and addiction, video games and children, video games and social skills. We can also mix it up with video games and children and social skills. Okay, so it's all about narrowing down to get the proper articles or the proper sources to help us answer our research question for our research paper. Any questions about that so far? Okay, for this is a mess. So hold on, let me pull up the PowerPoint. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pull up the PowerPoint that I have on my side so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, hold on one second. Bear with me 1 second. All right. I think this is a little bit better. Okay. I just can't see you all, but you can see this. Okay. So sample process. Okay. So now that we have an idea of who we want to focus on, we applied the 4W method from the list above, which was the previous slide. All right, and you can add more keywords to help you. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you choose healthcare worker and essential workers, still very broad. Okay, so you can add job satisfaction and COVID. Okay, so with the what, job satisfaction, the who is essential workers, the where is, let's say you wanted to focus on healthcare workers in the United States, and then the when was during the COVID-19 pandemic, the COVID pandemic, so you want to look from information from 2019 and forward, even though we stopped in 20, but everything was starting to brew towards the late 2019. Okay, so the only part that you may have to put a little bit more work in is the where. Okay, that one you may find some information that happened in China that may interest you, so focus there. Okay, and then the when, it can be different. Okay, let's say if you want to focus within on the library databases, you can change the years. So let's say if you want to focus within the last 5 years, change the time frame to the last 5 years, depending on your search. Okay, you may want to focus all the way from 2019 or so. You have that range, but at least if you have the what and the who, then you can play around with the where and the when. Okay, but that should be your foundation to help you start to develop, to narrow down your research topic. Okay, so let's put this all together. All right, and then we have a sample working thesis and research question. Now, there is a session on your thesis coming up in a couple of days, and I'll put that up too, to help you start to formulate your thesis and your research question, because that may not be as easy, but at least if you have the foundation to narrow down your research paper topic, then you can start to work on your thesis. Okay, so we have come up with how the COVID-19 pandemic affected job satisfaction among essential healthcare workers in the United States. Okay, we have narrowed down our broad topic. For instance, this case, we did a whole bunch of broad topics. Well, we have took our broad topic of healthcare and narrowed it down to how COVID-19 pandemic affected job satisfaction among essential healthcare workers in the United States. Okay, and that is how you narrow down your research topic. Okay. Okay, and we are at 6:27. I'm going to stop the recording here, but I can go in for questions if there are any questions